Does the NSA collect any type of data at all on millions or hundreds of millions of Americans?
No, sir.
It does not.
Not wittingly. There are cases where they could inadvertently, perhaps, collect, but not wittingly.
It's not possible for the Congress to do the kind of vigorous oversight that the President spoke about if you can't get straight answers. We sent them the question ahead of time. We indicated to them afterwards there would be an opportunity to amend it. The answer at the hearing was never amended.
Well, he certainly believes that Director Clapper has been straight and direct in the answers that he's given.
The only answer to that is give me a break. If you have a shelf of books on astronomy in your home, and you say, no, I haven't collected the books until I've actually opened them, you are deliberately misusing the word collect. Now, I understand why he did it, because he was afraid that if he said yes to Wyden, he would have said, we collect the information, but we don't look inside. And that would have sort of revealed what the program is. We collect the data on the telephones, but we don't listen in. But for him to pretend that it was the truth, and for, Jay Carney, again, he says the President believes that Clapper has been straight and direct in his answers. After watching that, that's not even close. I repeat, the man is underpaid.
I don't have to listen to your phone calls and know what you're doing. If I know every single phone call you made, I'm able to determine every single person you talk to. I can get a pattern about your life that is very, very intrusive. And the real question here is, what do they do with this information that they collect that does not have anything to do with al-Qaeda? And we're going to trust the President and the Vice President of the United States that they're doing the right thing. Don't count me in on that.
Look, that's hypocrisy 101. And there's a way in which, in the end, it helps the country that the party in opposition, which hypocritically attacks the party in power, and then after it comes into power, it realizes it made a mistake, it was being naive or deliberately attacking, knowing its arguments were false, at least it adopts the right policy. So I think it's good with the rotation of power that now Republicans and Democrats, the Bush administration and the Obama administration that attacks what Bush did, agree that we have to have this stuff because the threats out there would make your hair stand on end. I think it's good for the country, but it doesn't excuse the way in which these people, demagogued this issue. I'm not sure if at the time they knew how demagogic it was, but in retrospect, it obviously was, and they ought to at least, in their memoirs perhaps, apologize to the Bush administration and say, you got it right, and we retract all the attacks in 07 and 08.
I know there's a lot of talk right now about border security, so let me repeat. Today, illegal crossings are near their lowest level in decades, and if passed, the Senate bill, as currently written and is hitting the floor, would put in place the toughest border enforcement plan that America has ever seen.
I refuse to accept the idea that the most powerful country on earth, the nation that put a man on the moon, is incapable of securing its own border. Our sovereignty is at stake in terms of border security.
Those in the Gang of Eight, and I know they want to do the right thing and have worked hard, but they got off on the wrong track.
I believe the votes are already pre-cooked that this bill is going to pass the U.S. Senate. But absent major revisions, absent revisions along the lines of the amendments that I introduced in committee and intend to introduce on the floor again, this bill will crash and burn in the House. And it is designed to do so. So how do we save it?
In the House. One of the amendments, by the way, removes the path to citizenship and essentially makes a legal limbo for immigrants, illegal immigrants here. It doesn't give them citizenship at the end, so that loses Democrats. Anyway.
Right. I actually would agree with that. I think that the current generation, we will get legalization, they'll get residence, they'll be able to work, they'll get a green card, but I would deny them citizenship on the grounds that if you jump the line and you get in illegally, you shouldn't really have been here. In the first place, you shouldn't have a say on the political destiny of the country. Your children will. And I think that would be a fair resolution. But that won't pass. And I wouldn't let the bill die on that. I would say, okay, citizenship, yes. The key issue here is the enforcement of the border. If you don't have real output measures and not just inputs, the amount of money you spend, but output, a 90% decline of illegal immigration that ought to be defeated. And I think Rubio might actually insist on that. That would be a deal breaker.
This has been a Sunfish production.